You guys just see the slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Should we just mute if you're going to be?
Yeah, so let me get through all of this and then we can ask questions and all that good stuff afterwards. And if you don't have a mic that works like Richard, if you have questions, just type it in the comments section and I'll get to it after we're through this part. Okay, so basically I've talked to most of you about most of this, but what I've done is I took most of the day today and kind of figured out what it would take to get to $750,000 valuation in your business. So I wanted to kind of brush over the basic details of what's transpired for people that might not be in the know, as to what we have options now for, and then go deeper into the bigger thing. So the road says 750,000. That's going to be our magic number, and we'll explain why here in a little bit. So for those that don't know, Equis has partnered up with a company called Integrity Marketing Group. What they are is they're the nation's largest final expense and med sup business in the country. What they've done is essentially bought out Equis, but Equis is going to function on their own. Nothing much in the way of our day-to-day is going to change, except for now we have a lot more options. You're going to start seeing upwards of 200 new carrier contracts that we're going to be able to get contracted with. We're going to have Medicare supplements that we're able to now sell, dental and vision plans that we're going to be able to offer, and long-term care. So it's going to be something where we can offer a whole bunch of people outside of just our normal mortgage protection world. With all that comes a whole bunch of money. It's going to give us access to really unparalleled products and services. Because they are so powerful, they hold so much weight over all these different carriers, they're able to develop products proprietary to them that's going to give us an edge over anybody else in the marketplace. So we're going to have those proprietary insurance products like the one we heard about today. We're going to have access to over 200 carriers. We're going to have a larger, more powerful lead source and a massive tech advantage. We don't know a lot of the details yet. We just know that 30,000 foot view, but that's the stuff that's coming our way. So that's all great. But the problem with what we had going on with Equis, and a big reason Barry went with this, is because no matter how much money we could make, there really wasn't any kind of exit strategy. So you could continue to build your team, get to equity bonus, and then ride the overrides and that equity bonus. But you just always had that business. There was no exit strategy when it came to if you wanted to get out of the game, until they partnered with Integrity. And I think this is probably one of the largest reasons Barry decided to partner with them, is because of the power behind Integrity and what their plans are. We now have a buyout option, and it's a buyout option that's not like any other kind in the industry. So you are now able to build a business that you can then sell. So the details of what that buyout is, they're buying out based on a valuation of a business having an EBITDA of $750,000 to $1 million. If you grow your business to that number, Integrity will look at you, go through your finances, and make you an offer for your business. The EBITDA is going to be your income before taxes and after your business expenses. So the name of the game at this point is to keep your profits as high as possible and spend as little money as you can. So by lowering your lead costs, getting good at referrals in the home, working those target data leads where, it's the target data that we mail out the final expense to, and door knocking where that's a free lead to you. So by doing those kind of things, you're going to help keep that profit margin a lot larger than just relying on purchasing A leads. So in doing all this and starting to think about an actual business, you need to think about your costs. You also need to be careful of not taking too many tax write-offs. So before, most of us, the way we did it was we were trying to get as many tax write-offs as we possibly could so we didn't have to pay that many taxes. The problem is when they're going to look into your finances to make you an offer, you are if you have all those tax write-offs, you're not going to show the profit that you need to show. So the magic number is $750,000. The way that they make the offer that they're going to make is going to be based on a multiplier of 8 to 15. And just for this case, we're going to use a multiplier of 10. So the first number, if you look in the red, so we get your business up to $750,000 valuation. That multiplier times 10 is $7.5 million is the offer that they're going to make you for your business. They're going to put 20 to 25% of that into a private equity share into the Integrity Marketing Group. You are going to become an Integrity Marketing managing partner. We're going to illustrate it out at 20%, saying that's how much private equity that you have in the company. That's going to be $1.5 million in shares, private equity shares of Integrity Marketing Group. That 20 to 25% private equity share does pay out a dividend, and we're just going to illustrate that out at 5%, and that 5% equates to $75,000 per year in a dividend check to you. So we got $7.5 million valuation on the business. They give $1.5 million of that in shares. You have $75,000 per year that's going to come out of that for your dividend that you'll see. The second part of that is going to be the cash payout. So you're going to take your $750,000 valuation. I'm sorry, the $7.5 million valuation. Subtract that 1.5 out of the 20 to 25% private equity that's held back, and you subtract out the capital gains you would pay. You're going to get a cash money check for $5 million. Okay, and then what they're suggesting is with that $5 million, just put it into some kind of safe vehicle, something that returns 3% interest, that kind of thing. And the way that's going to work out too is you're going to then get off of that $5 million, put that into a safe vehicle. Off a 3% interest rate, you'll see $150,000 per year coming off of that. On top of that, so that's your payout. On top of that, they're going to continue to let you run your business and grow it. At that point, you're out of the field. You're not really selling anymore. You're just managing your business. And to do that and to keep it growing, they're going to pay you a salary of $200,000 per year, give you a 401k and health insurance. So the way that all works out and looks in the back end is you're going to have that $200,000 salary paid by Integrity, the $75,000 dividend check you'll get from that private equity shares, and then your $150,000 coming from interest from your cash payout out of whatever kind of earnings vehicle you put it in. And that's going to equate to a $425,000 a year income coming in off of the sale of your business. So what I've done today is I sat down and looked at, okay, what does it take for people that don't have a big business right now? What is it going to take for you to get to that $750,000 a year valuation? And these are the numbers that I've come up with. I don't think this is the only answer. I just think this is a great direction to start heading in. So the first thing is your personal production. The goal is to get out of the field as quickly as you can so that you can start growing your business. But the first thing for almost all of us are going to be writing $5,000 per week. That's 5 applications, which is 12 to 15 appointments. So starting to book 12 to 15 appointments to write your 5 applications should net you $5,000 in AP per week. That's going to bring you to $260,000 per year of that $750,000 you need. So you're a third of the way there if you can get out and write $5,000 in business per week. With that, when you do that 3 months in a row, you bump yourself up to 100% contract within Equis. So you go from the 75% you might be at now, writing that kind of business within the equity structure, they bump you up to 100%. So you're making a lot more money off of your commissions. The second part of that, and probably the most important, is going to be agency building so that you can start getting those overrides. So to do that and to get where you need to get that way, you're going to need to start ICAing 5 people per week. And ICA, for those that don't know, is going to be the getting somebody to go through contracting. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go pass their test and do all that kind of stuff, but this is all a number of games, from personal production to agency building. The next 2 or 3 years of your life need to be all about these numbers. That's putting people in the ICAs, roughly 5 of them per week, which is going to give you 20 per month. Sorry, these people are. Okay, so you're going to ICA 5 people per week. That's going to be people from gauging interest. That's basically all it is. Hey, I'm in the financial services business. We're always looking for good help. Are you interested in making extra income? That phrase right there, saying that over and over again to people at the gas pump, to the waiters at your tables, to your banker, just that phrase over and over and over again is going to help get those 5 people per week into your hierarchy. That's going to net you over time. That's going to net you 10 qualified unique writers. And a qualified unique writer is somebody that's wrote 3 pieces of business. Out of those 10 qualified unique writers, you're going to look to get 120,000 per year out of each one of those 10. Your override on those 10 that write 120,000 per year is going to be $300,000. So that's your override on your 10 qualified unique writers. Those are going to be your full-timers, the ones that are going full bore out it. Then you're also going to come across these in your 20 per month, the ones that just kind of want to write on a part-time basis. You're going to then see about 5 of those people that become qualified unique writers that are just going to write on a part-time basis, maybe 60,000 per year. Your override off of those 5 are going to be $75,000 per year. You get to those numbers after you go through all those. That's going to qualify you for the equity bonus at Equis. So all that stays in place. The equity bonus first tier is $13,000 per month and sheer profit to your business. Times that by 12 months out of the year, that's $156,000 per year in overrides, in that passive income that's not costing you a dime, that's adding to your business's profitability. So if we look at those numbers and how to get to that $750,000 magic number, $260,000 of it's going to come from your personal production, $375,000 is going to come from your agent overrides, and $156,000 from your Equis equity bonus. That's going to give you a gross profit of $791,000. Then just look at taking out your costs and all that kind of stuff. If you can keep your costs down to $41,000, you're going to be at that $750,000 mark. Additional ways to make income in this business are going to be, if you get good in the home after you've made your sale and you've done the homework in the top end asking about their finances, you should uncover 1 annuity per month, which is going to give you about an extra $42,000 per year. Just by asking that question, would you like to participate in the market but have 0 risk? If you ask that enough questions in the homes, you're going to get people to say, yes, well, I have a 401k of $50,000 sitting there. You roll one of those into an annuity each month, that's $42,000 per year. And another additional way that we didn't have before that we do now is that Medicare supplement. We've got an expert on our team that's going to help us navigate this, and I spent time on the phone with him. If you can do 50 of those per year, that's a strictly residual game, meaning that you get paid every month. You don't get paid an annualization like you do on the insurance. If you sell 50 of those 3 months or 3 years in a row, that residual effect is going to equal an additional $39,600 per year, again, in sheer profit, because it's just a residual money that's going to come in, and you're going to build that up month after month, year after year, until it gets up to that number. And that would be just by implementing those 2 things, you're going to give yourself an additional $81,600 in salary. The annuity thing you can be doing now. The MedSup stuff is coming. So why the 3-year race? That everything that I just described to you will always be there with Integrity. You will always have this option to buy out, get bought out by them, and participate in everything that I just showed you. But we're in this 3-year race to get there as quickly as possible, 2 years if you can, because what we know about Integrity is this, that they are buying out a ton of companies, that they are getting as big as they can, and they are focused on nothing but growth. And generally, when you see a company doing that, they have one goal in mind, and that's to go public. So right now, you got private equity in a company like that. So what that means to you, that is if you sell your business to Integrity before they go public, you're going to have that $1.5 million in private equity shares in Integrity. So if we just look at some scenarios, and kind of one that Barry was sharing with us is let's just play out these two scenarios. If your private equity shares are worth $5 and you have $150,000 or $1.5 million in those shares, that means you have 300,000 shares in the company. Let's say they go public and they have a very conservative opening at $30 per share. That's an additional $9 million that you now own in the company that is your shares to do with what you want. Now, let's say they don't do $30 and they come out at 50, that's $15 million in equity that, or in shares that you now have on top of everything else that you've just been given by the buyout. You have this money that you can go and do whatever you want with. So what the buyout option is always going to be there. The opportunity to hold that $1.5 million in equity shares is only going to be available until they go public. Once they go public, if you miss that window, once they go public, you don't get that private equity shares. You're looking at shares at market cost. What they're thinking the time frame is, and this is all speculation, but very educated speculation from the top of Equis, is within the next 3 to 5 years, that's when they're looking to do this. So now's the time for that heroic pace, for that 2-year, that 3-year push to get as many sales as you possibly can, to tell as many people about the business so that you can participate and get that 9 million, that 15 million, maybe even more. I mean, we're talking massive insurance companies. They're valued at huge amounts. So those could be very conservative numbers. So with that, there's some things that you need to do immediately. It's not really something to sit on your thumbs about because 2-3 years goes by really quickly. So the things you need to do kind of immediately is start writing $5,000 in business this week and every week after. You need to create an LLC, just give it a company name, call it your last name, call it whatever you want. Open a business account, start functioning out of that business account. Begin tracking all of your expenses and all of your income. Look for a good qualified CPA, make sure you're paying taxes on a quarterly basis, and go ahead and get your health insurance license so that you can participate in all these new products that we have with the MedSup, with the dental, long-term care. Those are all things that you're going to need your health insurance license for. And then just know, the whole reason that I'm out of the field is to help you guys grow. So make sure you're taking advantage of the things that we have. I'm going to be dead focused on the ones of you that are striving to write the $5,000 per week. As I am hiring, I will be putting agents under you. But the only way I'm doing that is if you're out there writing business, because they need to see your name on the leaderboards. If they're going to be somebody that is in your downline, they need to say, oh, Jeffrey, yeah, he's my guy and he's up there. He needs to have something to strive for that's tied to you. So that's why I'm looking for those people. And it doesn't have to be that 5,000 exactly, but if you're close, if you're within 1,000 or 2, that's fine. But just know that those are the people that I'm going to focus on building under. So that means that that's going to help your organization. That's going to start giving you overrides immediately, let you not have to worry so much about hiring. If you have any warm market potential hires, that's people that you think might be interested, just get their information to me and I can call them and talk to them and I'll meet with them. I'll spend all this time to talk with anybody that you might know. I've got this recorded. You can send that to them. You can watch this again and kind of explain it better to them about the opportunity that we have in this next short period of time. I'm going to be hosting a weekly opportunity call, meaning that you could say, hey, go hop on this Zoom, or hop on where I decide to do it at Facebook or Zoom. Hop on this, just watch the opportunity, and you can tell this to all your friends, and they can hear what this opportunity is from me on a weekly basis. Day in and day out, night and day, we're available if you're in the home and you need help with sales. Don't think that you're out there on your own. We want to help make sure that every client you sit with, you get the sale. And if you can't, it's not because we didn't give it our best. I'm going to also, on the ones that are really striving, really growing, I'm going to do one-on-one calls with you once or twice a week, just keeping you posted on any updates and stuff, because a lot of this stuff is fluid. And then make sure you hop on our mymillennial.com website. I've got all the tools you could need for selling on there. Make sure you hop on there and go through it and see what each file I have is. Go through that process, because I've got everything you need to in one place, from making an appointment all the way through selling in the home. Any form, any file, any contract you might need is on that website. So that's pretty much it. Those are the numbers I came up with. I know it's been kind of quick, but I'm going to post this up to the website so you can pull those numbers and kind of write them down. So I'll open it up to any questions right now. So does anybody have any comments, any questions, want me to go back, any numbers, anything like that?
So when you're talking about $750,000, we're not talking about AP. We're talking about
Net profit.
Net profit.
EBITDA.
Okay.
EBITDA. So it's going to be your.
So the EBITDA. So pretty much we want to get up to 100% commission ASAP.
Yes. And I cannot stress this enough for every single person on the call. There's not one person on this call that is there yet. That $5,000 a week, as quickly as you can get to $5,000 a week, because that's going to get you to your 100% contract level the quickest.
Okay. Oh, by the way, you did an excellent job on that presentation.
Oh, well, thank you. Lead sources and all that kind of stuff. So yes, some of us get a lead for mortgage protection, but we need to start looking at final expense. That new product is going to be a game changer in final expense. Target data, for those of you that are comfortable. For those of you that don't know, target data leads is literally the raw data. I punch in a zip code that you want of the people that are ages 55 to 75 that have a certain income level, and it spits me out a list of names and addresses. You simply go there, you knock on the door, say, hey, I'm the senior benefits guy in your area. We mailed this out to you. I'm not sure if we got back with you, but when's a good time for me to meet? Knocking on those doors, that's a free lead. So doing that, final expense, working your warm market, just honing that skill, all of that stuff needs to be incorporated into all of our arsenal, because everybody needs 15 or so a week, appointments a week to reach that number.
And before you post that presentation to your website, there's one change you do have to make, and that's you had a screen where you had 7,500,000. I think it was supposed to be 750,000 in bold red, right in the middle. You had it as 7,500,000, I think, if memory serves me correctly.
So the goal is to have your business at $750,000 valuation.
Yeah.
To get the $7.5 million buyout.
Okay. So is that okay? So it was a 7 point. Okay.
Yeah.
That was confusing on that screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks.
And so the businesses they're looking at are going to be the businesses that are, at minimum, have that valuation of 775, whatever that number is. I'm losing all the in between. $750,000 minimum. To sell Medicare supplements, we need training to sell courses for CE. Yes, I don't think. Yeah, you need to get your health insurance license, Richard. You do it for $30. The real big push during that time is that 6-week window at the end of the year. Med Sup we can sell all year round, but there's all kinds of stipulations. And again, I don't know that much about it, but Joe does, and Joe's really going to help us with that. So go on. Or I'll text it out tomorrow. Okay, so Richard, you already have it. So I don't know what else you need in Texas. Again, we can just figure that stuff out. Any other questions, comments? Need me to go back over anything? I mean, our major things are the numbers you need to just keep your eye on, and I would track it like a hawk. How many appointments did I run? Getting that 10 to 15. If you don't have it on a Thursday, take those target data leads and go door knock. Do whatever you have to do for the next 2 years to get those numbers. Talk to everybody you know. It's just that, hey, I'm in the financial services industry. We're always looking for sharp people to help us out. Are you looking to make any extra income? Just that needs to be burned in your brain. Anybody that you see is sharp, just telling them about it. And then once we get some standout selling a lot, Right now, I'm going to work on growing width on my end until some of you guys pick it up and are doing the numbers you need to do. And then I'm going to start hiring for you guys as well. Shauna, do you have any questions? I know you came in late.
No, I don't.
Shauna's really good about getting warm market, so her profitability is way up there. Jared, any questions? Jeffrey, Sturgis, everybody's good? Rick?
Everything's good here, Brian. It's just exciting to hear about the new opportunity here, and it's good to know that I'm getting started here, and just really excited about what's offered.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, none of us are going to have a chance like this ever again. A chance to reach that multi-million-dollar cash out is just, it's unreal. It's still going to be a great deal if some of us miss that IPO, but it's life-changing and legacy wealth kind of stuff when you talk about actually being able to participate in that IPO.
Yeah. I appreciate you, and I appreciate Jeff for the time y'all spent with me to help me get started. And I'm just excited to get everything going and look forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, man.
So as far as the health license, there's a window, is that correct?
So the Med Sup you can sell throughout the year, but there's stipulations around it. So, something to do with when they can switch over their drug stuff. There's a lot that goes around that, but you can move a lot easier within that 6-week window. And like I said, right now my focus would not be worrying about all those rules. Just get your health license, just get that out of the way, and just drill down on starting to get that $5,000 per week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but wasn't there like a time limit getting your health license by next month? Was that?
No.
No,
No time limit on that.
the June date is the June date to sell the Medicare Advantage stuff.
Okay.
Because you have to go through other certifications for the Advantage. The supplement is a different thing altogether.
Okay.
It's that open season stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, to do the Medicare Advantage, and then you have to go through a whole bunch of different licenses or certifications, and they won't even consider you for Medicare Advantage unless you have your life or health insurance license by June.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you can still go on ExamFX and the other one, Excel Solutions, and take it for like $30. It's still cheap. And the way that works is you get talking to Joe. The average monthly thing is $100 for a Med Sup, and you get 22% of that. So call it $22, and it's paid on a monthly basis. So you get $22 for every policy you have in force every month. So if you sell 50 your first month, you get you'll be seeing $1,100 in monthly checks coming in. You do that again the second year, now you're at $2,200. You do it again for a third year, you're at $3,300 a month coming in residually. So it's not something that you're going to look to be an income replacer for life insurance, but it's going to be something that's going to give you a residual for years. And after a few years, it'll be really high. That number will be really high.
Okay.
But part of that 5,000 is starting to learn and starting to really drill down on asking about annuities. When you get your health license, we'll know more about the dental products, and you can do more about the dental products and all that kind of stuff. Just extra add-on sales, cancer policies, the long-term care, all that stuff are going to be add-on sales. So just getting good at getting referrals in the home. Hey, it was really nice talking to you. Do you know of anybody that might could use some of the services you just got from me? Doing emergency contact lists, like, hey, if something happens to you, I know you're going to be a mess and it's just going to be hard to think about it. What are the names of 5 or 10 people I can contact to let them know that I have a check form and that we can get to them that you like and trust in, and go from there. So just all those ways of getting that, as many names in the home. The other thing too, and the way that I built most of this organization is in the home. So if there's somebody in the house and they're sharp, they're in that 6-point profile, married, mortgage, kids, they have a job, any 4 of any of the 6, tell them about the opportunity. Hey, do you think you could do what I do? Do you think you could call up somebody, sit in front of them, and just go through the process? And then you'll be surprised at how many of those people will say yes. Immediately put them in the ice. Hey, okay, great. I want to put you in our system. Cost you $30 to get the test, and let's get you going. That needs to be, if they fit that profile, you need to be talking to them about that in the home. Because growing a team is painstaking, but the more numbers you put out there, the more likely you are to find those winners. You'll go through a bunch of losers, but you'll get a whole bunch of winners too.
Hey, Brian, are we allowed to mention integrity as of now? Like while
Yeah.
we're seeing things?
Yeah,
Okay.
It went out. Press releases went out this morning.
Okay, so we can mention that when we're selling, say we're, owned by Integrity, and mention their board of directors. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So some people won't make that big a difference. Especially in the home. But if it's a warm market and it's somebody that you think would be amazing at the business, I would throw all that at them.
Okay.
I sat down with one of Jeffrey's guys yesterday and explained all that stuff to him, because it's in 2 years, everything's going to look completely different. So if this is just one of those times in history that everybody's in the right place at the right time, but not everybody's going to do the work that they need to do. So you don't want to be the outside looking in.
Do you think the mortgage protection products are all going to change then, or do you think that
So Equity Protector is very hard to beat, but what they're working on now is maybe finding another company that can beat the Equity Protector. Right now, you guys know from selling, because I still see them come across, it's Equity Protector is just almost unbeatable. And we have 20 different products on our own. So they're going to try to find something that's an Equity Protector on steroids, were the words. But we're still going to have Equity Protector. That's still ours. So even other companies that are within Integrity, they won't have access to Equity Protector. That's still going to be ours. They're just going to keep seeking to find even better things.
So this new final expense product, we're going to have access to that through Integrity, or how is that going to work? Is that going to be like Equity Protector or something like that, or?
I don't know. We don't know the name or anything. We'll still get the contracting done all through Equis. But yes, we were going to have access to it. And just for those that don't understand, so most final expense products, even if you're on 120% contract, those products generally only pay you 55 to 60%. It's much lower than what, say, the Equity Protector or any term product is at 85, 90%. This final expense product is going to have a much higher commission payout comparable to the term policies. So whereas before, you might not do final expense because you didn't get paid as much. Now with that product, you are going to get paid as much as you would with term. It will also have an age of 40 to 89 years old. So you can write a 40-year-old on a final expense product if they're, fairly unhealthy, or you can write an 89-year-old. So now all these 82, 83, 85-year-old leads that we're getting, we're now going to have a product that we can write them. The table writing on it is, a non-smoker COPD user. What they're saying is they're going to get a standard rate with. Right now, we don't really have many carriers we can write COPD with, and it comes across a lot. So it's going to be a game-changing product, and only Integrity is going to have it. So we're not going to be able to be beat in the home with that, just like we can't be beat in the home with Equity Protector.
Now that's a game changer.
Yeah, you're going to write a ton of those, Shauna.
Yes.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
Yeah, you're going to write a ton of them.
So when is that going to be announced, Brian? Do you know?
They're hoping the product is available mid-June, 2 weeks or so.
Oh, okay.
But let's call it a month.
Okay.
Any other questions? Just keep in mind those numbers, $750,000 valuation. You get there, every one of you can do it. Every one of you can get there in 3 years. You all should be able to get there in 2 years. But it's those 2 years where there's a lot of sacrifices that are going to have to be made. so that you really don't ever have to make a sacrifice again. If you get in on this, there's literally no sacrifice you'll have to make because of money again in your life. All right. If nobody has any other questions, we'll do our typical Friday catch-up call in the mornings. If you have any questions at all or need me to explain more, message me privately or just call me, and really get your mind ready to work, to really work.
Oh, Brian, wait a minute. Did I miss something? You said we're going to do our Friday call in the morning? It's Thursday tomorrow.
Well, I know. That's why I said Friday. That's why I didn't say tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's late. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the morning.
Gotcha.
Friday morning. All right, guys. If there's no other questions, let's get to bed.
Yes. All right.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Y'all
Good
too.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.